Okay, so what is Register? Register is Localist's built-in ticketing and registration system that allows you to offer free registration out of the box, as well as sell tickets to your events right from your calendar page once a payout account has been set up. Now, who can set this up? That answer is twofold. Platform admins are going to need to address the global backend settings that we're going to review in just a few moments. In order to actually add ticketing or registration to an event itself, you'll need to have event admin permissions. Now, this ties in really nicely to my next talking point here, which is that this cannot be set up via bulk upload or feed URL. Register must be configured on a per event basis from the admin dashboard only. Now, again, right out of the box, you're going to hear me mention this a few times. Localist offers registration or free tickets with no additional setup required. Now, if you do want to actually sell tickets, you're going to need to configure a payout account before you're able to assign a price value to any tickets you create. Currently, we work with Stripe and Authorize.net. More on those in just a bit. We're also very hopeful to launch TouchNet payment account integration by the end of this quarter. All right, so we're going to move into the admin dashboard with this screenshot here and talk about those global settings that need to be adjusted by a platform admin via the platform settings menu. Now, if you be sure to, you'll enter the platform settings menu and click this register tab to reach this menu here. First, if you want to actually require your registrants and ticket buyers to be signed into your Localist calendar in order to proceed with their order, you can make that required by making sure this checkbox is clicked right here. If this is unchecked, they'll be allowed to proceed without signing into your calendar. Next, you can set the global compliance level question asked when completing a transaction for GDPR reporting, which can be set to none, light, strong, or hardcore, with each requiring a more explicit agreement as they go up in level. Now, if you want to give your community and your event admins the ability to add their own payout accounts separate from any shared accounts you may set up, you can allow or disallow that using this checkbox here. If an event admin adds a personal account, it will only be selectable by that specific admin when they are creating an event. Platform admins will be able to see that a personal account has been added, but they will not be able to edit or view it like a shared account. And again, more on payout accounts on my next slide. Before all that, though, if you have a default attendee question that you want to make sure that is included on all registration or ticket purchases forms going forward, you can add that here. You have the option to include a short answer question or a multiple choice question. You can also make sure to require the question for completing the form before they can complete the transaction. All right, so you've heard me mention this a few times, but when adding a payout account, you'll have the option to add a share account that would be selectable by event admins for the organization when adding events. This means any event admin who is adding register would be able to use that account to collect money for a ticketed event. This would be something like a shared university account that you've coordinated offline or internally as to who would be using what. For a personal payout, again, this will only be selectable by that specific admin when they are creating an event and no one else. As I mentioned before, Localist currently integrates with Stripe and Authorize.net for facilitating paid transactions. It's really important to remember, Localist does not gain any insight into these accounts, their contents, or any financial information. We simply facilitate the transaction to be completed by your secure payment provider outside of Localist entirely. Now, Stripe is available right out of the box, and it is our most common service used among existing calendars. When selecting Stripe, you will complete the setup in Stripe's secure dashboard away from the Localist admin dash once you select that option shown here. Now, if you do have Authorize.net, simply let your client success manager know that, and we can turn it on from our end. Authorize.net can be set up right from the Localist admin dash with information provided by Authorize.net. We're very hopeful to have TouchNet added as a third option sometime later this spring. And again, the absolute most important thing to remember here is that you and your team will have full control over all payout accounts and that they cannot be edited or accessed by Localist or on your behalf. Okay, so we're going to take a quick look at the tickets and registration tab right in the Localist admin dash, which is what you're going to see when adding tickets, and also very shortly when we take a quick tour of the platform. So this one right here, use Localist Register, that is a big one. And if you intend to actually use Register for an event, this box must be checked. If it is unchecked, we'll see a simple 4-field menu to add an external link to tickets or registration and an optional price that can appear on the event card. This would mean that you're using a different registration site entirely in conjunction with your Localist event. But let's say you are using Register and that box is nice and checked, then you're going to see the tickets menu right below. Now you're going to have the option of setting a ticket type for multiple offerings for different demographics or groups, or you can just create the tickets themselves. And I'll show you an example of the difference between a ticket type and a ticket in just a second. This affects how tickets are displayed on the front end. And again, we'll see an example of this very shortly. Now for ticket, this is the actual ticket itself and one that you'll be able to edit options for, specifically such as how long it's available and the price. Again, you will not see the option to include a price on your ticket unless a payment account is set up. However, you can offer free registration and tickets for your Localist calendar. Now you have the option to create promo codes for your events that offer a dollar amount or percentage off a purchase. You can schedule how long a code is active, how many times it can be used, for which tickets in particular it should be valid, and even create a hidden ticket that would only be unlocked with a promo code when used. Think about maybe a contest winner or something being able to only use their account to get a free ticket if they've won some sort of event. Now the promotion tool, I'll show you where that lives in just a moment. That can be used to schedule a post to Twitter or LinkedIn, or to email all of the people who've registered or purchased tickets if there's an update to the event, or to promote it via social media. For reset quantities per instance, this means if you want the amount of tickets available to be shared among all instances of an event, or if for each instance, the capacity will reset back to 0 if that is checked. Lastly, you can make sure that the event owner is notified anytime a registration is completed or a ticket is sold by checking this box here for registration notifications. The event owner is typically the admin who created the event. However, that can be edited directly from the event or the admin event form in the admin dash. All right, so now that we've covered a lot of ground there, we're going to take a field trip into the Localist admin dash, as well as see a live event with ticketing applied, the admin view of that event, and how that looks compared to an event with free registration. Oh boy, we're going ahead of ourselves here. We're just going to leave there. All right, so here we're looking at a live event with ticketing attached. This is just a fake-based basketball game I've made up. And for any event that you've added registration or ticketing for, you're going to see either register or buy tickets. Now, buy tickets will show up automatically if any price is associated with that ticket. However, if it's a completely free ticket, as we'll see in this example, it will show as register, and it will do that automatically. But if you're interested in purchasing tickets, you simply click that link here, and from the right, this panel is going to open up for your ticket buyer to select which date they want. A lot of basketball games coming up, as you can see. And then, as I mentioned before, a ticket type is this right here, general public. It's not necessarily a ticket itself. You can create the general admission ticket here. But if you wanted to differentiate, say, a ticket type between the general public and students, that's how you would do it. Then you can create the actual ticket itself and then drag that underneath its particular type. And now it'll display nicely here. Here's where you'd be able to add a promo code. I believe I set this up. And once that's shown, you'll see the discount applied on the tickets once that's applied. And if you remove, it'll automatically jump back to the regularly indicated price. If we move forward here, we're just going to see this is now going to allow me to complete my registration with my name and email address as required. And then as I continue in, I just need to confirm, acknowledge, and then I would be brought to a payment page here by completing this transaction. That's really a quick view of how someone would purchase tickets on a platform, but let's take a look at how this event exists inside the admin dash by clicking the admin event editor. And we're going to be brought into, this is the admin view for that event. Now, really important to mention that we are on the tickets and registration tab. This is the only place you will see this. And this is a sneak preview of an upcoming change that we're making to our admin dash form. However, the tickets and registration tab is going to be in the same place for existing customers as well as anyone using this new form. Now, a big one here is this use localist register button. If this is unchecked, you're going to see you have a lot fewer options. And you have the ability to add an external link to registration or ticket purchasing, a cost. And then if you are linking with Eventbrite, you can add your Eventbrite ID to complete that particular integration. However, you're going to want to make sure that is checked so you can actually use the Localist platform. Now, when creating a ticket, you have the option to create those types. Again, here, general public is a ticket type, where general admission is a ticket. If I wanted to create a new ticket, all I have to do is click that button, and a whole host of options are going to open up. Name, description, in-person versus virtual or waiting list. Add a message to that. You saw earlier here that this ticket type message was listed as students only. That's where that would appear. And here, again, because a payment account is set up, we have the option to add a price here, as well as different options for tickets. Here's where that promo code was set up, concept. Because I didn't complete my transaction, it didn't actually count as a use. However, you'll be able to see how many times it has been used, how many uses are available, and then you'll be able to edit it right here from that pencil icon. Scrolling down, you'll see you have the ability to create a max capacity. Those reset quantities and registration notification buttons that I mentioned earlier. And here is where you'd be able to add a payout account if one is selected from this dropdown, as well as setting the compliance level for GDPR reporting. Over here on the right, this is that promotional tool that I mentioned that if you wanted to post either bulk schedule post, a post to LinkedIn or Twitter, LinkedIn, or email anyone who has purchased a ticket or registered, you'd be able to do it right here. If you select email, you can just do all of that right from this particular dashboard, set an email subject, a message, and then you can either schedule or send it immediately. Now, one thing I did want to make sure we mentioned is I have shown this already just for a moment. However, the difference between registration and buying a ticket. Now, you'll notice here that this is pretty simple. So for register, you're just going to click this. And again, it's going to be a pretty similar experience as far as registration versus buying a ticket. However, because it is a free event, you will see that it is a free ticket quantity and that it is free. And then I can go ahead and complete my registration without any payment required by the end. And if I click register, congratulations, your register is confirmed. Now I'm going to get an email letting me know that I've confirmed my registration, as well as a QR code that is going to allow me to check into the event. Now, really quickly, in the interest of time, because I do want to make sure I give enough time for bulletin, I did want to check in on this organizer check-in button. When using register for paid events or even registration, let's say I'm the person working the counter at the skating lessons, and I know that we have registration tickets. I'll click this, and I'm going to be brought to a very simple interface that's going to show me any attendees that are expected, as well as the option to check them in if they are here. Now, the other thing you'd be able to do, and I would only recommend doing this on a mobile device, as this requires a device with a camera in order to scan those QR codes that we provide as tickets, is if you click this, scan tickets, you're going to be brought to the interface that's going to actually allow any device with a camera on it to scan and check in register or tickets sold through Localist Register. This can be done by literally any smart device with a camera. It is a QR code. It just takes the picture and sends that information to this interface, which then logs them in and lets them know. Also, if you can, in the moment, if somebody says, hey, you know what, totally forgot to register, that's okay. Click create ticket and you'll be able to actually complete their registration right then and there and then check them in.